Hi, in this session we are going to talk about Security Assertion Markup Language, popularly known as SAML, and the different policies that are available in Apigee Edge. The SAML specification defines formats and protocols that enable applications to exchange XML formatted information for authentication and authorization. A security assertion is a trusted token that describes an attribute of an app user, or some other participant in a transaction. Security assertions are managed and consumed by two types of entities: identity providers that generate security assertions on behalf of the participants, and the service providers that validate security assertions through trusted relationships with the identity provider. Apigee Edge can act as both an identity provider and as a service provider. It acts as an identity provider by generating assertions and attaching them to the request messages. It acts as a service provider by validating those assertions on incoming request messages. Apigee Edge SAML policy supports SAML Core Specification version 2.0 and WS Security SAML Token Profile Specification version 1.0. Generate SAML assertion policy is used for outbound token generation. This policy type enables API proxies to attach SAML assertions to outbound XML requests. Those assertions are then available to enable backend services to apply further security processing for authentication and authorization. Generate SAML assertion is typically attached to the target endpoint request flow. The policy requires issuer, which is the unique identifier of the identity provider, the key store that contains the private key and the alias of the private key used to digitally sign the SAML assertions, the subject, which is the unique identifier of the SAML assertion, and the XPath, which is the expression that indicates the element of the outbound XML document to which the policy will attach the SAML assertion. This is an example of a generate SAML assertion policy that has the issuer, key store, subject, and XPath configurations. Validate SAML assertion policy is used for inbound authentication and authorization. This SAML policy validates incoming messages that contain a digitally signed SAML assertion, rejects them if they are invalid, and sets variables that allow additional policies or the backend services itself to further validate the information. Validate SAML assertion is typically attached to the proxy endpoint request flow. This policy requires the source that contains the payload, including the SAML assertions, the XPath, which is an expression that indicates that the element on the inbound XML document from which the policy can extract the SAML assertion, and the trust store that contains the trusted X509 certificate used to validate the digital signature on the SAML assertion. This is an example of the validate assertion policy that has the source, XPath, and trust store configurations. For more information on this topic, refer to our documentation, and if you have any further questions, please post them on our community. Thank you.